We can have this on. Good morning, everyone. Hey, you know what? I don't know where you are, but when I woke up this morning, I had snow on my front lawn. So I was really excited. Nothing like waking up and seeing a little bit of white snow to get into that season that's starting on Thursday. So for those who don't know me, my name is Helena Nat. I'm the executive director with the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. And I love today's webinar. We have the award-winning WSJ, Wall Street Journal, best-selling author, coach, TEDx speaker, 8-time marathoner, and investor. A little bit of background for those, he's been doing these fabulous webinars. They're on Chamber TV, but if you're joining us today, Craig Siegel, Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author, the Reinvention Formula. He's a global key speaker and also the host of the CLS Experience podcast. He is endorsed by luminaries like Jim Quick and Ed Milet. Craig, 8-time marathoner. I have to give a shout out for the marathoner because we were just talking about it. My sons are doing it. It is a world of its own. It is incredible. The mindset that you have to have is amazing. So his mastery and energy, inspirational impact have made CLS one of the most engaging communities globally. Everyone should be following him on social media. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Craig, and we're going to start today's webinar. We have a chat going on. He is very well engaged in the chat. So when he asks questions, put your contacts, put your questions, put your thoughts in the chat. That's how it works. So right now, Craig, I'm really excited for today and talking about the mission. And also, you know that I am a firm believer in the law of attraction, and we talk about that. And I think this webinar on connecting with your mission, cultivating your network for an online presence and presentation, I should say, is really important. So we're going to talk about aligning your purposes, building authentic relationships, and leveraging your network for growth. This is all about how to grow your business with the Greater New York Chamber, with the contacts that you make. And I'm going to turn it over to Craig right now. Thank you so much, Craig.
Beautiful. What an introduction. Thank you so much. Literally no place in the world that I'd rather be than right here with you and all these unbelievable attendees. I love coming back here. It's a treat. We always create so much magic. We have a lot of fun together. And she's right. This is going to be very engaging, guys. So buckle up. Happy Friday from New York City. And I'm just so pumped for today. Specifically, the topics that we're going to be unpacking today are relevant to everybody in some capacity. So before we get started, let me know in the chat, in the comments, what are you guys here for today? Like, is there a topic that specifically resonates with you that you want to dive deeper on, or what are you most pumped about? Is it aligning your purpose? Is it building authentic relationships? Is it leveraging your network for growth? Is it connecting to your mission? Is it to just lay eyes on my handsome face? What is it for you guys that today that really tickles your fancy, if you will? No wrong answer here. I'm just curious. Let me know in the chats, guys. Let's be super engaging. Building authentic relationships. I love it. Soraya, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Jamie, Bridget, love it all. And guys, we always like to have a lot of fun here. We're going to do some giveaways. So whoever extracts the best nugget from today's session, I want you to text me. We have a free texting community where we send out inspirational quotes and wisdom throughout the week. Business strategies, it's totally free. Just got to text the number. I'll put it in the chats, 917-634-3796. Whoever texts me the best nugget from today is going to get a signed copy of the Reinvention Formula, Wall Street Journal USA Today bestseller from me, free. Let's have some fun, guys. Let's dive in. Okay, I see there's 30 beautiful souls on here, and I love it. Helga, great. financial stability. We're going to touch on all this stuff. Let's get started. Okay. So 2-second background on me. For those of you that aren't familiar, I've had 2 lives, and the one I'm really excited about is the one that you're looking at. I reinvented myself in the pandemic. Prior to that, I had spent 13 years on Wall Street. And while I was having materialistic success and making some money and all that stuff, I found myself, which a lot of people tend to realize when they chase stuff like that, I found myself empty inside. And you begin to realize the things, the money, the Chanel bag, the apartment, all that stuff is nice. And we should unapologetically desire those things in the human experience, but we should never expect anything external to create lasting fulfillment. It's fleeting. And so, as you can imagine, I found myself in a pretty dark season of life right before the pandemic, towards the end of my Wall Street career. Few things happened at once. I was navigating ending a toxic relationship. My best friend, my dad, had just got diagnosed with cancer. He's still battling. And I just wasn't in alignment with my life, my relationships, my career, anything. And so I wasn't connected to my mission, if you will. It wasn't authentic. And so I was drinking a little bit more than I like to admit, just in a bad place. All of a sudden, I started running marathons. I'd never been a runner before. And this was pivotal for me because I started to upgrade my identity, and I started to create transformations for myself. And then fast forward the pandemic. I mean, talk about a lot of white space, a global awakening. I used that opportunity to really connect to, I would say, creator, whatever you guys might say, divine source, universe, whatever's good for you. And I just blocked out the noise, the BS, and the interference. And I was able to channel that energy, channel those downloads. And it occurred to me that personal development is not just a hobby, it's my calling. And so I created my CLS brand. I had no celebrity friends, no following, no connections, but I felt very connected to this mission. I put out a strategy. I started building a 10-lane highway, each lane representing a different way to make an impact and do business, speaking, coaching, podcast, book deal, TED Talk, all the things. Had that one moment of, can I do this? Is it too late? Am I too old? And then I considered what I call to be the COI, the cost of inaction. And for me, that price of regret was way too high of a price. And so I leaned in. My fear of the unknown transformed to excitement. And for the first time in my life, I was in alignment. Over the last 4 years, the brand took off, traveling, speaking all over the world, just spoke at the United Nations, just got married in September, ran a bunch of marathons, have a huge coaching community. We have a program we're launching in December, which is very affordable, 4 weeks to reinvention, all the things. Left Wall Street for good, and this is it. So a little bit of a background, and here we can go. Now we can get started. All right, guys. So I know a thing or two about reinventing yourself, cultivating purpose, creating authentic relationships, and being connected to your mission. And you know what's interesting, guys? There's a misconception that you can't really love what you do and be connected to your mission and also make good money. It's got to be mutually exclusive. I'm living proof that that's not the case, because I'm making more money now doing what I absolutely love to do than when I was on Wall Street. But that's not the sole motivation. That's just an energetic exchange, a byproduct, if you will, of sharing my gifts with the world. And get this, every single one of us have gifts, and they're not ours. They were given to us. We are the managers of them. And one of our soul's purposes while we're here is to identify those gifts, share them with the world, and create a ton of impact. Contribution over accumulation. That's the secret. All right, guys. So now let's get started. We having fun so far? Let me know in the chats. You could write yes or I dig, or you could write no. I just want to do a quick temperature check. Love it. Okay, we're fired up, baby. Love it. I see a bunch of you texted the community already. You guys are all in play for the giveaway. All right, let's get started. Purpose of this, guys, for the next 15 minutes is talk about aligning our purpose, building authentic connections, growing our business, leveraging our network, and a little bit of everything in between. Let's talk about aligning your purpose, the foundation of growth, guys. By the way, I'm loving the engagement in the chats. Paulie, great to see you. Uncle Stu, Great to see you. Some great humans on here, guys. This is great. Love it. Claude, for those of you that are just getting introduced, great to meet you. All right, guys, let's do this. What is purpose? Well, let's talk about a clear understanding of your why, right? Alignment of our passions, our values, and our strengths. Let's align that with our professional goals. Now, why does purpose matter, guys? For those of you that maybe are doing well for yourself, but you don't necessarily feel fulfilled, or you feel like you're here for something a little bit more, I can relate to that big time. So why does purpose matter? Well, purpose drives decision-making and it keeps us motivated. Purpose attracts opportunities with like-minded collaborators. Relationships is a big part of life. Wouldn't it be so much more fulfilling and fun to be able to collaborate and connect with people that you have a lot in common with, that share similar desires, similar core values, and build a life and do business? I think so, guys. So how do we find our purpose? $1 billion question, right? I get asked this all the time. Let's connect to that energy for a moment. Let's reflect on our journey for just a second. A key question I like to ask is, when have you felt most fulfilled in your career or your life? And while we're at it, let's take a second to really connect to that. And if you're feeling brave, maybe drop something in the chats that comes to mind. When have you felt most fulfilled in your career or life in general? Love that, Lena. When I set goals, raising my kids, helping people win, media entertainment industry. When I'm working behind the mic on a project, having great friends, working with my community. This is great, guys. This is great data and feedback. Okay. A commonality that I'm seeing here is a lot of you like to be of service, which makes perfect sense because that is one of the reasons why we're here. And when we're in service, our soul expands as opposed to the desire to receive for the self alone, in which case our soul contracts. I spent a lot of time there. All right, guys. Beautiful. So if we're thinking about our core values, right? Because we love to build a career around our purpose and our core values and unapologetically make a lot of money doing so, I imagine. Let's write down some values that perhaps guide your actions and decisions. What are some values that are important to you guys? Like, for example, let's just say you were going to invest in a company and you're looking at the company. What would be important to you in regards to the core values of that company, aside from the fact that there's potential? Like, what are core values that are important to you guys that might guide your actions or decisions? Integrity, kindness, love this. This is great. Keep them coming. Very engaging today. Got that Friday energy, consideration. Okay. Transparency, great one. Helena's on fire. Kindness, service, boom. Reliable, great one, Bridget. Integrity, trust, honesty. This is great, guys. Okay. Excellent. So now we're on to something here. We're starting to get clarity. That's big. We're taking the time to gain clarity. Okay. Now, understanding our core values, reflecting on a time of our life when we felt most fulfilled. Now, I want you guys to define your unique contribution. So what problem potentially are you uniquely most positioned to solve? No wrong answer here. What problem are you most uniquely positioned to solve? Christine, love it. Very, very specific. Inspiring and motivating women over 60 to thrive in mature aging. Beautiful. Okay. Who else? And guys, if you don't know, that's why we're here today. Resource matchmaker. Love it. Dispute over property divisions. Beautiful. It's a great learning culture where youth people experience the power and true self. Great. Okay, guys. This is unbelievable. Okay. So making my colleagues and clients feel valued. Beautiful. Streamlining processes. Okay. You guys are on fire. So there's that. All right. So now we can create a purpose clarity statement for ourselves. And I want you guys to connect this over the weekend. So for example, I am committed to blah, 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 by what would be the action or contribution, and then to what would be the result. So I'll give you an example. I am committed to empowering and connecting others by sharing actionable insights to help them unlock their full potential. And guys, we could play around with this, but this is just giving us some direction right now. I am committed to inspiring, empowering, and connecting others by sharing actionable insights to help them unlock their full potential and awaken a desire. Christine, you're on fire. Soraya, hope I'm pronouncing that right. So we're going to create a purpose clarity statement. So you would say, I am committed to, and then you would add in the value or passion that you bring. And then by, so what is the action or contribution that you're going to make? And then two, what is the impact of the result that you're looking to accomplish? So I'm committed to empowering and connecting others by sharing actionable insights, and then the result to help them awaken a desire, connect to their purpose, and unlock their full potential. Beautiful, Christine. You should be getting the juices going right now. See a lot of new faces on here. This is fantastic. And guys, don't worry, we're gonna do some Q&A at the end, but this is good to connect to over the weekend and really journal and spend some time on. And you don't have to be married to this statement, but it will help you get clarity and clear direction on what we want to build in 2025. And this just in, playing small is canceled. And you guys are here for a big reason. And 2025 will be your biggest year ever. So there's that. All right, guys. So now that we're starting to cultivate a little direction when it comes to purpose, when we felt most fulfilled, what is the problem that we can most uniquely solve? What are we positioned to help people with? What does that feel like? Now I want to switch gears for a second. Dr. Sonia, love it. Beautiful. Nailed it. Okay, great. I want to switch gears, guys, and we're going to tie this all together and put a bow on it at the end. I'm going to switch gears for a second to something that's been very impactful for me over the last 4 years as I started, grew, and scaled our brand. And that is building authentic relationships. This is the key to influence and also trust. The importance of authenticity in business, guys, is unmatched. And you tell me, like, when you do business or collaborate with people, Isn't it important to you that you connect with them in some capacity? That there's an authentic connection there? There's a little rapport. People buy from and partner with those they trust. I'm going to run that back. People buy from and partner with those they trust. Authenticity fosters lasting connections. You don't want to just do business with somebody and then they're done and you're not renewing them or they're not giving you referrals and then you have to do it all over again and find a new client, right? You want to create lasting connections where people will sell for you. They'll make introductions and connections. Our podcast, the CLS Experience, we started a couple of years back. It's now the 0.05% podcast on the planet globally. And one of the ways I did that is by having on really big guests like entrepreneurs, billionaires, celebrities, athletes, and doing a really good job on the show, authentically going deep, being vulnerable. Whereas they then told their friends, you got to get on Craig's podcast. The conversations are unbelievable, so deep and profound. And then we start to build up credibility for that. And that people started to support and share that even without me having to do it. So, what are the 3 pillars of authentic relationships? Let's dive in. Number 1, this would be good to write down, guys. Connection through empathy. So when you're listening to somebody, listen to understand, not just so that you can respond. It's very important to share your why. This way you can humanize your interactions, right? One of the best ways to develop a rapport is to open your heart and to connect. Not just say what you think you're supposed to say or to act cool, but connect with people on their why, on their core values. Listen. Pillar number 2, consistency in action, baby. Being reliable and delivering on your promises. I like to under promise and over deliver. Right? How many of you guys have worked with someone or got sold by someone that promised you XYZ and they kind of came up short and it left a bad taste in your mouth? Are you going to want to refer that partner or do business with them again? I imagine not. I know I've been there. So you want to be reliable and deliver on your promises. Don't make promises that you can't keep. People, and I was working with a client yesterday, big time attorney in Boston, and he had to have a tough conversation with one of his clients. I said, don't sugarcoat it. Get them into the office and just shoot it straight and tell them what happened and what the strategy is now. And people respect that. They respect when you're honest, even if it's a little bit of disappointing news. If you deliver it with authenticity and empathy, they respect that. They're not going to be mad at you per se. Helga, beautiful. Love that. Also, guys, let's show up regularly in your network with genuine interests. Right? We want to create win-win scenarios. That's my favorite. I always look to connect with somebody to share and help them with no agenda. Because as soon as you have an agenda or you're looking for recognition, now all of a sudden it's a little bit of the ego consciousness. It's like, what's in it for me? If you can just help people to help them, they will help you back tenfold, but that shouldn't be the motivation. That's the different consciousness. So seek to give before you ask. Whenever you're speaking to someone or you're wrapping up a call, a connection, someone you met for coffee, you're at a networking event, how can I support you moving forward? Or what are you most excited about right now? Who can I introduce you to? So we want to offer resources, guys, and connections or introductions or knowledge without expectations. That's right, Michael. Who can I introduce you to? What are you most excited about? How can I support? Beautiful. Have I told you that you guys are on fire yet? Because you are. Here's a good one that you can have in your repertoire. The next time you're at a business meeting or you're networking or you meet someone, it's a prospect, I'd like you guys to use this. What's a challenge you're currently facing that I might be able to help with? They might not even have anything for you, but just the fact that you offer that, it builds an authentic, genuine connection. What's a challenge you're currently facing that I might be able to help with? Rise on fire. All right, guys, another temperature check here. Before we dive into what I'm really excited about is leveraging your network for massive growth. How are we feeling so far? In fact, what's been a takeaway so far that stuck to you or that you connected to, or really just anything that you want to share? Let's just take a second in the chats. We'll put the community number at the bottom of the screen, guys, so you could text the giveaway and so forth. Totally free. Just text 917-634-3796. Text the word chamber so that I know that you heard it here. Offering something with no expectation. Beautiful, Dr. Sonia. Understanding the vulnerability and servant leadership. Love it, Brian. Being a resource. Yep. Beautiful, guys. Okay. Love it. It's sticking. It's so important to take time to that. It's like, imagine you go to dinner and you have this unbelievable meal. Right after you have your last bite, are you running out? No, you digest it for a second, right? You connect to it. So that's why I would just want to take a second, expand our vessel before we shift gears. Helga, love it. Okay. Beautiful. Let's talk about leveraging our network. And for those of you that are like, well, I don't really have a big network. Yes, you do. Do you have a phone? Are there numbers in there? You have a network. Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on this call right now? You have a network. And guess what, guys? Now you're in my network. And I'm happy to connect you guys with whomever you're looking for. We have a massive network. Beautiful, Dr. Ida. Hope I said that right. Okay. Soraya, I have a strategy for that. Text us. Okay. Leveraging our network for growth, guys. This is really the game changer. You've heard the expression, I imagine, your network is your net worth, right? But let's go deeper on that. Let's turn relationships into opportunities for growth. So I had a client recently too that didn't think they had a big network. They're looking to get themselves out there for speaking engagements, get paid and so forth, and make a difference. And they didn't think they had a network. And I challenged them with what I'm going to challenge you guys with right now. And then all of a sudden they started getting booked left and right. Let's assess our current network. Who are your key connections? Are these particular connections aligned with your goals? Let's go deeper. Let's take some time later today, and I'm happy to do a follow-up on this if Helena wants or you guys want to go deeper on assessing your network because it's a gold mine for you. Let's make it categories. Let's break our whole network, and that could be any of your connections, social media, phone book, anything. Let's break it down into mentors, peers, collaborators, and prospects. Thank you, whoever said that in the chat. Your name's not associated with it. I'm going to run that back, guys, and write this down if you can. Who are our key connections in our network? Let's break it down into 4 categories: mentors, peers, collaborators, and prospects. Now, let's cultivate strategic networking. Let's focus on quality over quantity. Very important, guys. I'm kind of obsessed and I study time. I'm really big into spirituality, as Helena mentioned in the beginning. Today is going to be a little bit more practical, but we'll definitely connect it. Carmine, great to meet you. Text me, join the texting community. We'll chat. So, quality over quantity. Let's identify where the best use of our time invested is. Is it events? Is it communities? Is it spending time in the chamber like this? Are there industry groups? Is it a social media platform? Where is the best use of our time to build our business? After we do that, it's time to create a collaboration plan. This is where we take time to proactively reach out with clear value propositions. So you might reach out to someone and say, I'd love to share insights with your community or your audience on the finance industry or helping women over 60. I'd love to share insights with your community. And in return, I can offer value and the wisdom on how to create self-love for women over 60, or how to make great investments, or how to put yourself out there and become a public figure and make an impact, how to reinvent yourself in 4 weeks, whatever it is. Now that we have the criteria of the different people in our network, we can begin to identify and proactively reach out to offer what kind of value we can add with no expectation in return. And guys, when it comes to sharing, it's one of the most important things that we can do. Sharing without an agenda is one of the keys. Sharing is the prerequisite for receiving. Because when we share, we create the correct metaphysical atmosphere for the drawing down of forces and energies from above. But the consciousness has to be right. Okay. So here's an exercise that you guys can take with you. Let's write down 3 people in your network that you can reconnect with. On the bottom of that, let's take some time to write down 2 new connections that you'd like to make and how you might approach them. This is a very tangible exercise for you guys to take with you over the weekend. So write down 3 people in your network that you'd like to reconnect with, and then write down 2 new connections you'd like to make and how you can strategically approach them. And just like that, we plan our work, we work our plan, we break down our network into the categories, and then we proactively begin to do some reach out. And a couple things happen here. Physically speaking, in the 1% world, you guys know me, I'm very spiritual. The 99% world is everything else that's happening. You'll actually move the needle because you'll be very much closer to one great new connection. But spiritually speaking, by taking the effort and time to do this and then reach out, you're awakening a desire. And when that desire is awakened, you're now connected to the world of miracles, blessings, divine support. Because all the doing and the grinding in this world is very important, and yet it's not enough. At some point, we have to relinquish control and surrender and let the light in. That's why I love to say marry the process, divorce the outcome. All right, guys. We're going to shift gears once more. This has been very strategy rich, guys. It's good to write this stuff down, and now you have this in your repertoire. But we're just getting warmed up, and I want you guys to have questions at the end. I love to interact. I think the engagement's so important, and I would take advantage of the opportunity. Ask me anything. Shifting gears to staying connected to your mission. This is the anchor for long-term success. Why do you think it's important to stay connected to your mission? Why do you guys think? Let me know in the chats. Focus, great one. Beautiful. Opportunities, motivation, alignment, beautiful, beautiful. Things take time, be patient. It helps you stay aligned. Good one, Soraya. Soraya is an early case MVP today. Stay on track, beautiful. Love it. Okay. Mission alignment ensures authenticity, consistency, and resilience to the inevitable challenges. Judith, I love it. So staying mission-driven, guys, it keeps actions purposeful and impactful. It allows us to live life much more intentional. Thank you, Brittany. I want to run those two back, guys. Mission alignment ensures authenticity, consistency, and resilience for the inevitable obstacles. And by staying mission driven, it keeps our actions purposeful, impactful, and intentional. But how do we stay connected? Now that we know why it's important, how do we stay connected? Well, regularly revisit your why. Reflect weekly, monthly on your progress towards your mission. Do you have a coach, a mentor? Do you have people that hold you accountable? Why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? I love to always share a good prompt. I don't know if you guys are journalers. I can't stress it enough. But a good prompt is, how is my mission influencing my decisions today? Ooh. Are you being intentional? Are you connected to the big picture? How is my mission influencing my decisions today? We want to align our daily actions, right? So a lot of people come to me to coach them, and I help people start to think bigger. And oftentimes when they think about going from A to Z, they can get very dejected. Whoa, that seems like a far stretch. First of all, people underestimate how much they could really accomplish in 6 months, but forget about Z for now. We're going to get there. How can we just go from A to B right now? That's why we want to break large goals into smaller, mission-aligned tasks. We want to break down large goals into smaller, more intimate, mission-aligned tasks. And I talk about this a lot in the Reinvention Formula, our book. This is the key, guys, to gaining momentum. As you know, momentum is the hardest thing to get and the easiest thing to lose. So you might ask yourself on any given moment throughout the rest of today, is this action moving me closer or further from my mission? So if I'm mindlessly scrolling on Instagram, is that bringing me closer or further than my mission? Helga, beautiful. Soraya, there you go. Are you guys on social media and stuff like that? We always put out content, and I love to connect there too. If you guys are on there, I'll put our handle there in the chats. Craig Siegel _CLS. Let's all connect. So lastly, for this, guys, it's very important to celebrate milestones. I want you to celebrate your impact. I want you to acknowledge the milestones and the moments when your mission made a difference. So when you're reaching out to your network and you're asking how you could support them, what's the current challenge that you might be able to help with? And you make an introduction, you make a connection, you give them a piece of wisdom. That's a big deal. Love that, Helga. I want you guys to take a second and write in the chats, what is one recent decision that aligned with your mission? One recent decision that aligned with your mission. Love the courage there, Brittany. The courage to pivot and start your own business. I love that. Who else? Leaving a client that was good for my energy. That was not good, I imagine. Leading a grateful leadership workshop. Beautiful. To attend. Okay. Decision to move forward. You guys are on fire. Left a firm that didn't value my work. Love that, Brian. Good for you. And I'm just going to touch upon that for a second. This is going to get a little spiritual, but you can't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. So one of the most powerful things we can ever achieve, which where you can create, manifest money relationships like this that I've learned how to do, took me years. It's one of the things I teach on now. It's being able to tap into certainty consciousness. A certainty consciousness is much greater than a confidence or belief. It's a knowing, it's a trusting. And one of the ways to do that is to have a standard and be able to have certainty in the unknown. So if you left a firm that you had a stable job on to go for something that you felt more connected to without a guarantee, that is certainty consciousness. And trust me when I tell you, you will be taken care of even bigger than you imagined when you do that. Because you have certainty and a trusting and a knowing in something greater. So you have to be able to relinquish control at times if something isn't alignment with you. I'm loving this, guys. Okay. Celebrate your milestones. Obviously, no need to pop champagne every time you get a business deal, but take a minute and reflect and give yourself that credit that you deserve. So we just wrote down a recent decision that aligned with our mission. Now I want to challenge you guys with this. Love that, Soraya. I want you to identify one action that you can take over the course of the next week to deepen your alignment, your connection to your mission, your purpose. What is one action that you can take over the next week to apply that can deepen your alignment, your mission, your purpose? Let me know in the chats. What is one thing that you can do over the next week to deepen your purpose, your mission? Have a daily goal. Beautiful. Make the connections. Share without an agenda. How can I help you? Would this help you if? Reigniting my network. Beautiful. Let go of my fear. Love it. Journal. Beautiful, guys. You guys are on fire. Okay, great. Okay. So we just talked a lot about purpose, alignment, relationship building, leveraging our network, being connected to our mission. Guys, we get asked all the time if I would teach like a more interactive course like this. And obviously with the schedule and so forth, it has to be the right time. I was telling Helena before we hopped on today, we have a 4-week sprint that we're launching in December. We wanted to make it very accessible so anybody can really afford it. It starts in December. I'll allow Brittany to put the link here in the chat. If that's something you guys are interested in, you can obviously find out more about it. But it's the 4 weeks to reinvention, getting clear, and then how to execute and so forth on all this stuff. Moving forward, guys, I want to take some time right now to really digest what we just spoke about. And I want to open it up for some questions, some Q&A and so forth. I think that it's very important that we consider questions like when you wake up every day, what is the most important thing for my business today? Why? Because you can't find what you're not looking for, guys. So I want you to bring the questions into your consciousness. And remember this, when you're analyzing parts of your business, an ROI is not just money, but sometimes it's energetic and time component as well. How much energetic bandwidth do you need to take on a specific project? Just some things to think about. Let's talk about some questions, guys. Alignment, purpose, network, limiting beliefs, spirituality, anything in between. Let's get nuts for the next 10 minutes. Or even if there's just something that you want to share that maybe resonated with you today, anything at all. Don't be shy. Be brave. Is there a specific nugget that really hit you today that you're like, oh, I'm really going to connect to that over the next week? I love that, Dr. Ida. Brittany put the links in the chat. Soraya. What should be the goal for 2025? I love it. Thank you, Christine. So, in my opinion, the best goal should be how can you identify your gifts and contribute and make the biggest impact possible in only way that you can in 2025. And if you can do that, you can literally change the world and unapologetically, you'll make more money than you ever thought possible doing it. But you're doing it for the right reasons and the right consciousness. And guys, we're all here for a big reason. Not everyone's meant to be like a celebrity or public figure, but we're here with gifts. We're here for a reason. It's not a coincidence. What are we good at? What can we share? How can we make a difference? Don't let anybody or anything dim your light, guys. Love that, Paul. Beautiful ball. What else connected with you guys today, or anything else really? There's a misconception, guys. And look, if anyone has any limiting beliefs on how big they can play into 25, if there's something that's coming up in imposter syndrome, you think it's too late, or it's a saturated market or any of that stuff, none of that stuff is actually true. It's just a narrative. And you have the power and the choice to awaken a new desire for a new narrative. Instead of focusing on what can go wrong, let's double down on what can go right. How good can you stand it? Anyone that made it to this call today, I want to acknowledge for a moment. You guys came here, you were engaging, you were open-minded, you want to take some wisdom and apply it, you want to change the world, you want to make some money, you want to do some great things. That's a big deal. Obviously, we need to learn the execution part. We briefly spoke about some of that today. That's why we created that course, the 4 weeks to reinvention, guys. But I want to acknowledge you guys for a moment. The small mission goal, very powerful, Dr. Sonia. Break the big goals into tasks. The tasks create goals, which create milestones, which create the big picture. Love that, Emery. Is this specific action bringing me closer or further from the mission? Where did you get your wisdom from, Greg? I would say I study a lot the wisdom of Kabbalah. It's a spirituality, but also 39 years of being on the planet. And I just love personal development. I'm always learning and I'm always applying. And I have coaches and mentors myself, which I believe we all should. Do you guys have mentors or coaches? Let me know in the chats. I think that everybody in some capacity should have that, where they can see your blind spots and they can help you get to your next level. And I'd be happy to, we do that, but have to have the bandwidth, but I'd be happy to make any introductions or anything like that. If you guys want to learn more, just text us 917-634-3796. I think everyone should have a coach or a mentor in some capacity. I have a coach for running. I have a spirituality coach. I have a business coach. Judith, I would say a good place to start would be the reinvention formula, because I hit on a lot of that in the book. And then also the book called The Power of Kabbalah is a good place to start. Ooh, Christina, I like that. There's a different energy that you connect to when you're a part of a course or a program or you have a coach and someone to help you get to the next level. Helena, it seems like all these cats on the call, has been about 41 strong the whole time, are really ready to go to their next level. And I want to acknowledge Helena, guys, for always putting on these events and picking great topics that always seem very timely. Let's give it up for Helena in the chats. I think we have you on mute.
I can only do this without people like you to support. That's what the chamber is all about: collaboration and growing your business, giving people the forum and the opportunity. So thank you for the love, everyone. I feel it. I feel the love.
What was your biggest takeaway today?
I just, you know what, the three, you talked about the goal of three things, of uh, making sure your new connection, who you want to connect with, what your goal is of connecting, and what your mission is, and aligning your mission for what you want to do. Like everyone, I always, my mission is to help businesses, but everyone wants to help businesses. But then I have to go back and decide, what program, what service, what can I offer to our database to make sure that I am connecting with the mission of growing the business. So, and I also like just hearing things that I know in the back of my mind that I should be doing. But if I write it down, it will be, more intense for me to make sure that I do it.
Beautiful. I love it. And guys, one thing I can do, if you guys are on social media, on Instagram or whatever, if you take a screenshot of the call right now, and post it to your story and tag me and also the chamber, and I will restory everyone, and then my millions of people will see it. And then who knows what that might lead to. So that's one thing I could do to help. Make sure you tag me and Helena or the chamber, and if you post it.
We're at NY Chamber, NY Chamber. Oh, my eyes.
This is great. And then also, guys, while we're here, just curious, what's a topic that you would love to go deeper on, maybe in the future, that you would love Helena to set up a webinar on specifically? Like, what is something you're really curious about, or you want to overcome, or anything? Is there a specific topic?
Great question. Because that's what you're doing for me,
Yes.
aligning my mission. Oh, limiting beliefs into business.
Love it. Okay, that's a good one.
Staying
Judith,
empowered.
we'll drop the information in the comments, Judith. You could text us or email us, or the team will reach out.
Yeah, we could do something like starting 2025, self-empowered and belief in your business.
Beautiful. Belief is really the key to getting anything off the ground in a big, big way. If you believe you can with zero doubt, it's only a matter of time. If you say that you want to do something, but there's doubts, it's going to be very hard to overcome that. So it's important that we clean up those gremlins.
Jay Green, I like to learn the language of sale. You know what? Email me. That I love that. The language of sale is so important. And we talk about that at the chamber a lot, about communication, about also, I'm going to go on a different avenue. We talk about when you are in your own business, whether you're a sole proprietor, an entrepreneur, or a major corporation, you should be checking your communication and who that first person is that makes that phone call or answers that phone. So there are so many times that I'm a phone person. I call a lot. So when I'm calling and someone doesn't want to take a message, he or she is not here, call back tomorrow. I could have been a government contract. I could have been calling you for, you know, that I met you along the way. So do spot checks on who that communication person is. And I think that sales and presentation is, Craig, is so huge right now because we're turning around from the emails. I think people want that connection. They want that one-on-one. And I think emails, like I said, it is a good thing to do, but it's also talking to a person and listening. What you said, listening is so important.
Yeah. Listen before you think about responding. And also, I think it's a great topic as well.
Yeah.
Being effective at sales is a trait that anybody can use to improve, no matter what you do for a living.
Right. And it also goes to your own personal, your day-to-day operation besides being in business
Yeah,
also.
couldn't agree more. We have a full turnout for the entire call, which is very rare, which means everyone
Yeah,
is
I
very
saw that.
engaged, and I think that's beautiful.
Jay Green, can you just DM me your company name? I don't have it there.
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah. And just, a suggestion, and I always say this on our online networking, when you do go on a Zoom and it's business related, put your company name, put your name and your company name, because when you sign in, because people will see it in the chat and it's part of your brand. Your name, your company name is part of your brand. I have behind me chamber.nyc. So I just put Helena Knapp because I have my brand behind me. If you don't, always put your company name. That's the best thing that I can offer for you guys. Put your company name. People will start seeing it, recognizing it, and being part of that. So thank you,
Beautiful.
Jamar
It's a
Green Chartwell. Thank you,
perfect next webinar.
Jamar.
Language of sale.
Got it. Well, Craig, you want to close it up? Um, just give some thoughts for
Yeah.
the end of the year.
So guys, a lot of us will read a lot of books, listen to podcasts, go to webinars or whatever, but we don't actually take the time to connect to what we just learned, right? And Jamie, I love that. Great to meet you. So really digest. Hopefully you have some notes to some of the stuff that we spoke about today, and take some time to really process it and go deeper on some of the ideas that you really gravitate towards that, whether that's the execution, the networking, the being aligned to the mission, whatever it looks like for you. Take some time and then let's bring that to life. Let's put energy into that. That's why we created this course in December. It's very important, guys. It's not always more that we need. And spoiler, all the light that you're going to reveal in this world, it's not external. You already have it in you. It's about revealing it so we can make the biggest difference and obviously do business and so forth. So take some time to really connect to the ideas that you really gravitated towards today. And let's go deeper on those.
And I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Alex, always for putting this together with me. I just wanted to say, everyone, have a next week is Thanksgiving. It just aligns with exactly what we were talking about. Put the positive energy out there. I just want everyone to be, thankful. And we're always thankful every day, but Thanksgiving is a good reminder. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Craig, myself, and we just wanted to say thank you for joining us. This will be on Chamber TV, so you can always go back and get your mantra for the day from Craig, or get that feeling. Start your day off with Craig and go back to the Chamber TV. I just wanted to say thank you again for everyone that's joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And we're still on for Tuesday online networking. So while you're preparing for your Thanksgiving, you can always join us on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Make those new connections. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Be well, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Helena.
Bye, Craig. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.